Let me see if I can hear myself. That's yesterday. Where's it at? Where is it? Man, why are you playing with me, YouTubes? Here we go. I can hear myself. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Airplane Show. Yes, sir. We're going to fly all around Sri Lanka today. I couldn't take off from the airport that I wanted to take off from, but we are very close indeed. I forget what the name of this plane is called, but I have never flown this here plane before, and I'm kind of excited. So we're going to fly all around Sri Lanka tonight. Yes, sir. I am currently working on an Aerofly video that I recorded today, but I can't stream Aerofly, so it's currently sitting in CapCut waiting for me to put my audio over top of it because I can't record my voice at the same time. There's no way for me to turn the volume down of Aerofly while I'm recording it, so I have to record the flight first, then I go back in and put my voice over top of it and, add little things in here and there like subscribe and thumbs up and music and charts and all kinds of good stuff. So I'm hoping that video will be up for sure by this time tomorrow is my plan. But yeah, I do have that coming any a day. I think this plane is called a Vivitrol. Let's go back and see what this plane is called. I forget. And we'll get in and start. I've been trying to find something to use this plane for. So let's come under my hangar. Slovenia-based Pipistrel introduced the first of their sinus and virus lines of light support aircraft in 2007. The smaller Virus won the prestigious NASA Personal Air Vehicle Challenge, followed by the 2008 General Aviation Technology Challenge and the 2011 Green Flight Challenge. As the Virus reputation spread in 2015, the Indian Ministry of Defense chose it for their official trainer for their Air Force. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, we are flying off the Indian coast today in Sri Lanka, so I had no idea. For their Air Force, Navy, and National Cadet Corps. Then 2016 saw the arrival of the SW121, happy beneficiary of Pipistrel's 20-plus years experience designing energy-efficient motor planes with a glider philosophy. In a class where aerodynamic excellence is paramount, the 121 soars thanks to its low-drag carbon fiber teardrop-shaped body, a high-aspect wing that maximizes laminar flow, and a variable pitch feathering propeller that lowers resistance while delivering exceptional performance, even when paired with the Viru's relatively small Rotax 912 S3 engine. With a dual-screen glass cockpit, full-featured autopilot ballistic parachute rescue system, and air brakes for precision descent, this motor glider is loaded with state-of-the-art features, making this Virus SW121 more than just an award-winning trainer, but the epitome of high-speed, high-tech, long-range, and environmentally friendly fun. Well, hey, man, that sounds good. I don't know if I like this livery, but yeah, that sounds good. So it goes up to 16,000 feet, and we got a maximum cruise speed of 220. So it's not a super fast plane, but it gets the job done. I kind of like it because we can see like all the way out the window. Yeah, I guess we'll leave the normal one. But yeah, the airport I wanted to take off from in Navigraph is up here. Now I see the airport, it's right here, but we can't take off from it. Now I could start us off in the air and do it that way, but I'm just going to take off from this airport and we're going to fly north and then pick up our route. And we're going to fly over the mountain. We're going to fly over this mountain range, come down and land at this airport down around here. I think that'll be a fun little trip to take. So let's go ahead and we'll do number 3. If anybody caught my flight yesterday with the A310 that I did, where we were bouncing up and down like a 64 Impala, as I was calling it, it turns out that it was one of the bush trips that I downloaded. So I erased all the bush trips, and everything seemed to work a lot better. It's very strange that just downloading a bush trip would do that. And yeah, I played with it a little bit. It didn't really matter which bush trip I had in there. It was just anything downloaded. Just, I don't know. It's very strange. So I really would like to do one of those bush trips, but I can always recreate it on my own without downloading the scenery for it. But then we lose out on some of the buildings and, points of interest and things like that. So, all right. So here we are outside our Pipistrel SW121, parked out here on the grass. And let's go ahead and get this here plane started. I did turn off the ATC, so let's get rid of them. Let's bring up this here checklist. All right, parking brake is set. That item. Fullest tank. I guess that's the left tank. Let's see what we got working here today for fuel. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Put a little bit more fuel in. All right, I guess I turned off the auto checklist, like where GigaChat is, sounding it out for us. It's no big deal, but all right, master switch on. Avionics on. Nav and strobe lights on. That's that button right there. Yep. All right, choke on. And we need to open the throttle up 1 centimeter, so let's give it just a little bit of throttle. All right, very good. Tick the item. Let's go starting the engine. So magnetos is one thing. All right, magnetos is both. And let's start. Got to maintain 2,500 RPMs. And check the oil pressure. All right, very good. Let's tick all these. All right, let's turn the choke off. And park and brake. All right, very good. Let's set our flight plan. Shit, I don't even know the name of this airport. Fuck. What is the name of this airport again? Let me scroll in a little bit. BCKI, okay. All right, let's come here. Let's go flight plan. Oh, I'm not going to use my mouse for that because I got to use this knob. All right, let's go V. Enter. not go space. Okay, just over on the... Just use the right thumbstick and go over. All right, VCKI. All right, very good. Let's enter that. And let's enter our first waypoint. Would be PUNAN. Let's enter that in. And then we got CHB. CHB. Then after that, we have Delta. Get this flight plan put in quickly so we can get up in the air and see what the good sights of Sri Lanka look like. Only time I've really been involved with Sri Lanka was, I think it was Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 or 3, I think it was. Other than that, I've never been around Sri Lanka in my life. Oh, wow. Let's look at Delta's information here. All right, so ours is 6 north. Six north and like 8 east. That looks pretty close, but that's 5,000 miles away. Might not have Delta here. So I'll have to choose a different waypoint. Let's find a different waypoint over here. Let's do POMAL. Let's try that instead. Let's go up. All right, so POMAL. We cleared Delta. All right, and then after POMAL, I'll change that as we're in the air. Then we have GUKRO. UKRO. Then from there we have MAMOG. We're almost done. Just a couple more waypoints. Shit. What did I say? MAMOG. UG. And then one more waypoint, and then I can input our destination airport and then choose our approach. All right, oops, wrong way again. Here we go. TANUG. A lot of these systems pretty much the same, you know, with inputting information, and usually it's, you know, these Garmin systems, it's always one of these cursor knobs it looks like you got to use to input, you know, all the info in. VCRI. Sometimes they have like a double knob where it's like two knobs like built into each other, like this knob and this knob down here. But for the most part, it seems like all these Garmin systems kind of operate the same way. I would assume that's on purpose, so you know, it's fairly universal to use any Garmin system. What am I doing here? VCRI. I'm such an idiot. I don't even know what I was just inputting. I was just looking at letters. All right, VCRI. There we go. All right, let's go to... we don't want that. Let's go to flight plan. Let's go to flight plan here. All right, where do we choose? Oh, here's procedure down here. Select approach, click enter, and we are doing the RNAV for runway 5. I guess we could do the VOR. Look at the VOR. That's really the same thing. Yeah, I guess we can do the VOR. All right, VOR. Don't believe there is any kind of transition. Yeah, no, there's no transition. All right, so let's load this. All right, let's get on out of here. What should we make our altitude today? Let's click the altitude button here. And I guess we'll put in like, let's put in like 3,000 feet for now. We can always change it later. And let's change our CDI selector to GPS. And let's, I believe that's about it. Let's turn on this system here. I like, there we go, I like this one here. It's got our altitude above ground and then the outside air temperature. All right, very good. All right, let's put on PIDOT heat, landing lights. We don't need the cockpit lights. Let's put a little bit of flaps down. Oh, flaps were already down a little bit. All right, let's release the parking brake. Pretty cool little plane. I've always looked at this plane, you know, when I'm figuring out what kind of flight to do. I've never thought about flying it. I was like, why not fly it today? I really like the here where we can just like look outside this huge window. I like that a lot. All right, so we're gonna fly north for a little bit till we get to the end of the island, and then we're gonna make a big U-turn and then pick up our what's it called? Our course for the night. All right, we have liftoff. Flaps up, and let's turn to the north. Nice if I could use the mouse to change our heading. Is this showing? Oh, here we go. Now I see the cursor. All right, let's do this at 100. All right, let's change our heading. I didn't realize how slow this plane was. This might be the wrong plane to fly on this trip. Might be choosing another airplane here momentarily. It's going to take forever tonight. Let's choose a different plane. It's going to take forever. Let's sorry about that. I had no idea that I was looking. It said it was like 222 knots. So I figured it would have been like a much faster plane. But anyways, all right. Their Pipistrel. We'll see you later on. So I'm thinking about either the Beechcraft Bonanza. That's a pretty sweet plane. I haven't flown that one in a while. Or the PC-12. We could do the Cirrus SR-22. We haven't done that in a while. Now let's do this plane here. Let's do the PC-12. We haven't flown this in a long time. I think that'll be a good plane. Or should I do the Bonanza? Man, I'm really on the fence. Tell you what, let's do the Beechcraft Bonanza. I haven't flown that plane in a while. Let's do that, and let's put on the burn 'em up livery. All right, let's go back and do this flight now. we'll sit on the fuel box. 934. Clear skies. All right, that works. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if anybody's watching or not, but sorry about that. I really thought that plane would have been much quicker. I mean, I know that the 222 is like its top flying speed, like while it's in the air, but I didn't expect the knots indicated airspeed to be so low, like lower than a basic Cessna. I didn't know what I was really going to expect with. Oh man, can't park here unless we can back up. Shit. Let's change our parking spot. Fuck. Ugh. All right, let's go. Wasn't that just okay? No, parking number 5 is okay. All right, yeah, let's do that. And let me change this one waypoint to Pommel. Add that to the route. We'll add that in before Delta. And we'll get rid of Delta. Oh yeah, much better. Okay. Yeah, because now we can just take straight off and go around these guys here. All right, let's put a little more fuel in the thing. Let's put a little more fuel up in our aeroplane. Let's do 70. All right, let's get in this airplane and let's get this baby started. This plane is definitely much faster than that one we were just in, that's for sure. All right, parking brake is set. Now it is. All right, avionics. That's off. Fuel selector. It's left main. All right, that's fine. And battery and alternator switches. Let's turn them on. Make sure our mixture is rich. Let's move our prop lever all the way up. Throttle full. All right. Fuel until flow peaks. All right, that's good. And let's put our throttle halfway. Take that. Take that. All right, let's set the start. All right, and we can check that throttle. Whoa. Let's move this down a bit. All right, very good. That's done. And oil pressure is good. All right, avionics on. Lights as required. So let's put on panel lights. Landing. Oh, I guess we'll do taxi lights first. Taxi lights, strobe, beacon, and nav. Fuel pump boost, make sure that is off. Yep, that is off. All right, let's push this button on the right so we can get started. Okay, very good. All right, let's put in our flight plan again. Let's come down here to flight plan. Come down here and push enter. All right, and what do we have again? VCKI, I think it was. That's what it is. VCKI. Yeah, that looks like us. Runway, we'll just do none. All right, and let's put in our first waypoint. That's PUNAN. PUNAN. I wonder if it's any quicker doing this with like a VR interaction where you can like choose one knob and then the other knob. Like, I wonder if that's any quicker or not. To be honest, it's very cumbersome to have to go in between the big knob and the small knob. I mean, it's not hard to do. It's just, all right, CHB, I believe is what this is. Yep, CH Bravo. Let's enter that. Next, we have EOMAL. All right, POMAL. All right, and then we have GUKRO. Almost on GUKRO. All right, enter. And let's see here. Got MAMOG. 2 more waypoints. Shit. MAMOG. All right, and last waypoint is TANUG. TANUG. Very good. Now let's put in our destination. BCRI. runway is going to be 5. Let's enter to accept. All right, very good. Now we can do procedure. Select our approach, push enter. And we are going to do this RNAV 5. And SUGNU is going to be our initial airfix. And what are our minimums here? Let's take a look real quick. Minimums are 290. So let's plug that in. Very good. Let's go down to load. Push enter. All right, very good. So that's all done. Let's get out of this page here. And we'll leave it on 5 miles, I guess. And all this is good. Let me just check that I have option 1 for wind. Yep, I like that option because it gives us the headwind and the crosswind. All right, let's plug in our altitude that we're gonna go up to. Let's do 2,500 feet. Pretty good altitude for a bush flight. 2,200 feet. And our best climbing speed is 100, so let's enter that in now. And down, let's put in 100. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and open up our cowl flaps a little bit. Turn on our flight instrument lights, and sub-panel lighting. And we don't need any flaps for takeoff. Not worried about the barometric pressure. All right, parking brake is off. Let's give it some fuel. Guy in hand. Sorry about that, buddy. Activate heading mode. And let's take off. Let's put our landing gear up. Making our turn. I'll pull the prop lever power down a little bit after we get situated here. If I was able to use my other hand for it, I would do that right now, but that's not an option. Let's engage the autopilot. And let's pull our prop lever back just a little bit. very good. Yeah, this is a much better plane than the one before. That was brutal, only being able to go 100 knots. Ugh. I had no idea it was that slow. I knew it was slow. I didn't know it was that slow. Let's turn off our landing lights. We only had taxi lights on. No big deal. Let's put our pitot heat on. And let's change our heading a little bit. Those are our cowl flaps now. We'll leave them open a little bit. I believe these are the cowl flaps right here. Underneath the airplane there. Sure, like what altitude would be best for this trip. Like usually when I do bush trips, we try to keep it around 1,000 feet over the ground. I don't mind doing that. I think that would be actually pretty cool. I think that would actually be pretty cool to do. I'm not gonna be able to go as fast. Our indicated airspeed is not going to be actually our true airspeed won't be as fast, but we're going to go out to the end of we're going to go out over the water and then make a big U-turn on the way back. Yeah, let's set our altitude for like 1,500 feet. Let's do VS and let's go down 500 vertical feet. I don't really care how long the trip actually takes. I mean, we can always speed it up as we go along, but looking at the ground would be much cooler if we're a lot closer to it, that's for sure. The airport I originally wanted to take off from wasn't available in Microsoft. I'm going to try to fly over it. It should be up. Let me get my cursor available. It should be up around here. In the world map from the main screen, I can see it. I can see the airport on the map, but it's not available for us to choose. Sri Lanka. Last time I saw Sri Lanka was Uncharted. It was Uncharted 3, I think it was. Might have been Uncharted 2. I forget when they went to Sri Lanka. Let's close our cowl flaps now that we're not going up or down. Not that it really matters. I've never experienced a difference one way or the other in this airplane with the cowl flaps open or closed. The only time I've noticed a difference with one of these planes is in the DC-3. Yeah, we're gonna go up. We're gonna go up and then make a big U-turn and then pick up our route. I'm not sure if we're gonna go up. Might be a good idea to go up in altitude quite a bit, just so it'll save time on the flight. But I'm not 100% sure I want to do that or not, because I kind of like the idea of just hanging out close to the ground. But our true airspeed, is going to be close to our indicated airspeed the whole time. If we got up to like 20,000 feet, then this would go up to 270, 300 knots for the true airspeed. But that kind of defeats the purpose of doing a trip like this. So now it's a good chance we're going to go into 2x speed for a while. There's nothing wrong with that, but I kind of like the idea of hanging out at a lower altitude tonight. Our original airport, we should kind of fly right over it. The original airport I wanted to use is up here, but it wasn't available on Microsoft Simulator. Look at that when we come back around. I don't know if that's drivable or if it's just like a walking bridge. All right, let's go a little north. See if I can spot that runway. Should be a little bit north from here. No big deal. Hopefully everybody's had a good weekend. I wish weekends were a day longer. I would love it to be like one more day longer. I read a very interesting article today about Lord of the Rings. I'm thinking about doing a video on it, giving my thoughts on it, but it's this long-standing fan theory about Tom Bombadil being in the movies, the Peter Jackson movies, the whole time. It's a somewhat convincing article that he was actually the Witch King of Angmar the whole time, but I don't know, just some things about the fan theory. There's some gaping holes in their theory about him being in the movie. So I think I'm going to do a video tomorrow on it, where I'm going to read the article online, put it up on the screen so everybody can see it too, and read it and kind of give my thoughts on it. And the new Alien Romulus trailer. I'm a huge Alien fan. I even like Alien. Like, that's how much of a fan I am. I discredited it from Aliens timeline. Like, I think it's okay as a standalone movie, but I like Aliens 3 and Alien 4, they're okay as standalone movies, but that's not what I choose. I choose to believe what was written in the graphic novels. You know, where Newt and Ripley and Hicks, they all make it back to Earth, and you know, then they have the alien wars after that, you know, later on. But yeah, I don't really go for somehow an egg made its way on the ship at the end of Aliens, you know, the second Aliens. I have a hard time believing that the Queen, who just detached herself from, you know, like an umbilical cord, essentially, you know, giving eggs. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that she just, you know, was able to lay an egg real quick while the spaceship was on its way back up to, you know, to the main ship. I just, you know, and then the alien eating through the glass. Like, I know it has acid for blood, but like, wouldn't that acid drop on the face of whoever it was getting ready to? Yeah, there's a lot of holes in that theory, I think. Tom Bombadil one is very interesting to me. He's one of the most powerful magic wielding characters on all of Middle Earth, and he's like the second oldest, you know, character in Middle Earth. You know, in the books, Frodo hands him over the ring, and the ring does nothing to him. He can even see Frodo when Frodo's wearing the ring, which a lot of people want to say that he's the Witch King of Angmar because he can see Frodo wearing the ring, but I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't think Tom Bombadil was in the movies at all. I think the Witch King of Angmar is what he always was in the books, which was one of the last kings of Numenor. Alright, we're getting ready to make a big U-turn, and then we're going to pick up our flight. Yeah, I thought the airport was somewhere around here. There it is, actually. I knew it was around here. Yeah, this is the airport I wanted to take off from tonight. The plan was to go out to the water and loop around and then do what we're doing now. But yeah, you can see it on the map, but you just can't use it as a airport in the simulator. It's the first time that's happened. First time I haven't been able to use an airport that I wanted to in this simulator. All right, let's turn around and pick up Poonam. Our turn. Go, good old Poonam. Beautiful to live like in a tropical country, just like on the water. I'm sure the way of life is way different than what I'm used to, but that's something I will certainly get, you know, I could learn to get used to it to an extent. I have to have air conditioning and internet. Other than that, everything else is kind of secondary. Air conditioning and internet. Those two are a must. That's a pretty big road, actually. Look at that. That's like a highway. A dirt road, and then it turns into a highway. And we'll wait for this magenta line. Should line up here. A little bit here, and then we'll gauge our flight plan and 2x speed for a little bit, because I think each leg of the trip, I think each leg's like 90 some nautical miles. Like Poonam to CHB, I think that's like 90 miles, and then CHB to the end of the island, I want to say that's another 80 or 90 miles if I remember correct. went into Navigraph tonight, looked at the map, and said, where do I want to fly tonight? Where haven't I flown over? I've never flown over Sri Lanka. Flown close to it. Never flew over it. And I don't know how realistic this is compared to what you really see on the ground, but either way, I mean, it's not like X-Plane, where it's like the same postage stamp over and over and over again. At least there's a lot of variation to this, you know, with the buildings and things like that. I know it's supposed to be somewhat realistic with what's on the ground, but let's go over a little bit more. Try to, what we'll do is we'll come over the water here, the water up here, and then turn towards Punam. It looks like Punam is right up on that water there, so let's do that. There's a little bridge. That's a drawbridge, or if that's like a stationary bridge and you just have to have a boat small enough to go under it. A drawbridge down the street from my house. Pain in the ass, that drawbridge. It works quick. You know, it's quick when boats come through, but still. It always seems like it goes up when I'm in a hurry to get somewhere. We actually have 3 drawbridges near my house, actually. We have one right near the house, and then on the highway there's 2 more drawbridges. There's a Coast Guard yard not too far from my house. So there's a double drawbridge on the highway. Then there's like a side street underneath the highway. There's another drawbridge there. And then the one near my house. So I guess it was actually 4. I'm experiencing as much turbulence as I am when I don't have live weather on. There's been a little bit of an issue with live weather lately. It's been acting up a little bit. Once I get the flight plan, once we get onto the flight plan, I'll turn on live weather and see if I still have an issue with it. Yesterday when I was flying that A310, I went from live weather to regular weather, and it put me 3,000 feet. It was a 3,000 foot difference, and the wind kept on. Here, let me make this turn off. Go down to the wind icon. So, like yesterday when I was flying the A310, you know, I know it's going to fluctuate a little bit, but it was like ticking like rapid, but it was going from like 25 to 45, and the airplane was like bouncing around a lot. All right, so we're gonna pick up Punam. So I'll turn on live weather here, maybe. I kind of like having clear skies so we can see everything. I downloaded the Hawaii bush trip that I wanted to do, you know, for you guys, and I also wanted to do this Alaska bush trip, so I downloaded the both of them. And the Alaska bush trip, I didn't have to download any other scenery, just the bush trip. All right, I'm going to click nav now, and once we get close to Punam, then we'll engage it. We got to turn a little bit. And the Hawaii bush trip, all I had to do was just download the points of interest for the Oceania World Scenery Pack. Well, those 3 downloads were what was causing the weather to go, you know, from like 25 to 45. I tried to, the reason I'm so late tonight versus how, you know, the time I usually stream is because I was testing out the A310 and a few other planes. This plane included, I was testing out, and once I got rid of those 3 downloads, everything was fine. And then I tried it again with just one of them. You know, I was trying to figure out if it was one bush trip or the other that was causing the issue, and they were both causing an issue. So yeah. So I guess if I'm gonna do a bush trip on here, I just need to download it, do the bush trip, and then erase it after I'm done. I can do it no problem on the iPad. iPad's no problem. All right, we should be in a Hunan right now. Just keep on going. If we need to do direct to CHB, we can do that. Actually, maybe that's what we'll do. Let's do direct to CHB, and then that'll get rid of us. Oh, hang on. Let's see what it's gonna do. Is it gonna make a circle, or is it just gonna? All right, I think we're okay. I wasn't sure if it was gonna try to circle back to Punan or if we're okay now. Looks like we're okay. Actually, let me switch this out because I do want to stay low to the ground, but I've never flown here before, so I want to make sure that we're not gonna crash into anything. So I'm gonna put on this relative radar, relative navigation map, and what that shows is our height. So we're in green right now. If we look down here on the bottom right, we have this little legend here. So if the area underneath our airplane is black, or the area on the map is black, that means we're 2,000 feet or higher than the ground. When it's green, we're between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. If it's yellow, we're between 100 and 1,000 feet. And then if it's red, we're less than 100 feet to whatever that is. So there are some mountains we're going to be flying over tonight. So we plug this out about 15 miles here. That gives us another 15 miles here roughly. So we have about 30 miles to start increasing our altitude if we need to. And we're on EPS right now. That's good. Let's line up our heading. I don't know why our barometric pressure is that. It should be 92. All right, very good. Once we level out, speed up again. I'll just go 1x for now. Oh yeah, let me do one more thing. Let's turn this bearing indicator there. Now, up here on the top left, now we have the mileage to our next waypoint. Yeah, it's very strange, the scenery packs, how you can't really download them now. The last patch is what killed it. Everything was fine until they sent out the last patch like 2 months ago. And they still haven't updated the system for the new AirApp update that came out on December 28th. So it's like, whenever I'm doing these flights now, I'm planning them out using the old information, because that's the information that's in the system here right now. So it's odd that they haven't come out with another update, especially for that. That stuff the AirApp system gets updated every month. Every month there's a new, an update for waypoints and arrivals and departures, frequencies and things like that. Usually Microsoft is pretty on point with that, but I think 1x is a good speed. His livery is pretty cool. I don't know if that's I think that's that is a face. From the other side, it almost looked like it was like a die, like dice that you roll. It looked like one of those put on fire. I wonder what they farm here. Like, is it wheat? Is it potatoes? You know, it is nice flying over land like this and not seeing any golf courses. In America, there's so much of this type of land has been turned into golf courses. It's crazy. I mean, I love golf. You know, I used to be a very avid golfer, but I mean, just because I'm an avid golfer doesn't mean I want every, you know, open space to be turned into a golf course. I mean, like, how many golf courses do you really need? The area I live in, I can drive 30 miles in a circle, and there's like a dozen golf courses. It's crazy. A lot of them are public, some private. We'll try the RNAV landing tonight. We should be able to do the RNAV landing where we have a glide path and the FAC, the final approach course. So on our display here, instead of GS for glide scope, it should say GP for glide path. And then instead of it saying VOR or LOC, it should say FAC for final approach course. Because it looked like, I have to look again, but it looked like we had a VOR station. So if there's a VOR station there, let's go back to regular speed for a little bit. If there's a VOR station available for an RNAV landing, and you have a plane capable of VNAV, then you should be able to do a glide path with no problem. Just plug in the correct course and the right frequency, and you'll have an icon that shows up very similar to a glide scope icon. It's like a diamond still in most planes, but just a different shape. It's like smaller and colored in, where most glide scopes is like an open diamond. Turn on live weather for a second and see what happens. Yeah, I have the date in here for the old AirX system. Let's see if it does anything to our plane. So the wind's a little different. It's okay so far. Let me see what the pressure is in this part of the world. You open up Navigraph and see what the barometric pressure is. 991. Bring up the METAR map here. At CAT, it's give me the METAR information, buddy. Same pressure. I guess we can leave live weather on for a while and see what happens. See if there's a pressure reading close to us. I don't see one. I'm looking at two different parts of the island right now. Both parts we're heading towards, and they're both 2991. So let's plug that in for our barometric pressure. You know, when you have a knob like this, where you have like it took me a minute to figure this out, even though it might be very simple for you, but it wasn't for me at first. I didn't know. So baro is the outer knob because it's pointed, you know, and then course is the inner knob, the triangle looking one. That really threw me for a loop for a while. Like, I didn't realize that for the longest time. Don't tell anybody though. I don't want to seem like an idiot. So don't tell your friends or anybody. Just keep that secret. You don't know everything about airplanes. I never claimed to either, but that one really got me for a bit. like I kept on turning the wrong dials when I first started flying these kind of planes. Don't tell anybody. All right, now that we seem kind of stable, look at the little car down there, rolling down the road. Car went away. The magic trick. It was there, and then our wing passed over, and it was gone. Let's go 1X and see what happens. I do get a little nervous flying this low, going faster, just because there's not as much room to maneuver if something does happen, but it should be okay. Part of the world, it's probably about 4 in the morning right now here. Maybe. Not sure what time it is. At 8:30 Zulu time. Oh well, whatever. Yep, so Tom Bombadil, New Aliens. I'm gonna speak my mind on those tomorrow. I gotta do some work-related stuff for his new job that I think I got. And I got a couple other things I need to do for my kids. Personal things for them with appointments and things like that. And I gotta finish the Aerofly video that I recorded earlier today. That won't take too long, but I can't use the PlayStation joystick anymore with Aerofly. Seems like the last update they did on FS2020 they added these new camera features, and with that new camera feature now, it completely disabled the capability of me switching between enabling flying mode with the joystick and disabling it. So with the joystick, I used to use the assistive touch feature on the iPad, and I could use the option button on the PS4 controller, and that would switch it from the joysticks engaging so I could fly the plane, or if I push the option button, then those two joysticks turn into like that red reticle that I could move around the screen, to interact with buttons. Well, now when I hit the options button, it brings up the pause menu, and it brings up, like instant replay and things like that, and there's no way to get around it. So when I'm editing the video tonight and tomorrow, now I got to go in and like circle like buttons and things like that. I think I'm going to do it like that. I've had people in the past ask me to like highlight the buttons as I'm pushing them sometimes. Aerofly's pretty good with a lot of the buttons, because when you tap on the screen, it puts a green circle around the buttons, but there's a good amount of buttons that there's no visual reference to see what's being pushed. So I got to put in my little grifting in there so I can try to get subscribers or likes so I can get the algorithm on my side. I want to become good friends with the YouTube algorithm for a while. The way I record those Aerofly videos, I do them in pieces. So it's usually like the beginning, and then take off to climbing altitude is like one section. The second section is like descent down the landing, and then the third section is different angles of me taking off. So like normally I take off, I stay in the cockpit, and then I stay in the cockpit the whole time. And then after I land and the video's over, then I'll go back to the originating airport, go right to the runway, and take off with different camera angles. That way I can like them all together, stitch them all together, and that way I like it because I like looking at the different angles for the takeoff and landing too. But landing's easier because I can just do instant replay after I land. We get a little shaky. It's Bonanza dancing a little bit. Yeah, see, this is what the weather was doing yesterday. Slow down. See if it's still doing it. I understand a little fluctuation, that's okay. But that's not bad, it's just going between 5 and 6. Yeah, how are we doing on height? Uh-oh. We have to increase our altitude a little bit. Oh yeah. All right, let's start increasing our altitude. Let's go up to 3,500 feet and see what it looks like. Yeah, what's this? This is a transition altitude for this part of the world. There we go. Let's look at our 11,000, 13,000 feet. China Bay. The normal climbing speed for this airplane is 100 KIAS, 100 knots indicated airspeed. Just leave it where it is right now. You can see that map went mostly black now, except a couple places. I don't really know how tall that is. Let me see if that's deep brown there. I'm thinking it's somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 feet here. I'm not crossing directly over that, but kind of what my thoughts are. See, now we can't see shit. That's kind of why I want to turn off live weather. Kind of defeats the purpose of one of these trips if you're just flying in clouds the whole time. Yeah, I mean, the reason I wanted to fly over here so I can see everything, not look at clouds. But at least the weather wasn't like screwing us up. I'll turn it on again for a little bit when I get up to a higher altitude to see if anything happens. Put back on the relative radar. As we get a little closer to the mountains, we'll adjust our altitude again. I like editing those videos for Aerofly, by the way. Like I enjoy using. I use CapCut, and and I find it to be extremely fun. Granted, I don't edit that many videos anymore. When I was, just doing Aerofly, I was editing a video every couple of days. But I think it's fun. CapCut makes it really simple. It's a cut, splice, add music, add different effects to it, reorganizing everything. Like they make it extremely easy. It's good. And they have a lot of really good features for free. I'm not sponsored by them, but I have certainly no problem saying good things about them if they're merited. If they were a piece of shit, I will certainly tell you as well. Got to be a cool airport to land at. I love landing at airports that are like where the runway's like right over the water like that. That's kind of cool. I don't know what all those brown spots are. Is that like where homes are supposed to go, or is that like graves, or it's weird. A lot of random holes that are looks like they were filled in with dirt, but they all look like relatively the same size. Look, there's a nice pool by the airport. You can get out of your plane and go swimming. Wonder if that's a hotel, maybe. I thought that was a golf course for a second. So it looked a little bit like a layout, like dog leg to the right or left, depending on which way you're going. Wow, look how busy this area is. Jesus. Must be like, I guess, maybe a resort area for Sri Lanka. I really don't know much about Sri Lanka. I just know a little bit from playing Uncharted. Where's our airplane at? Hear it. There it is. Sorry for sniffling a little bit. Got either a cold working on me or maybe allergies, but more than likely it's a little cold working on me. I'm not trying to DSP you guys by snorting and shit like that. I'm not used to being on camera and mic, a little bit I am, but I'm not used to it to the point where I don't sniff when I need to. That's kind of, I don't think about it. It's kind of automatic that it happens. So I'm trying not to do it while I'm doing this because I don't want to, I don't want to sound gross, I guess. All right, let's go back in and check altitude versus the mountain coming up. All right, so we got 71 miles to Pommel, and then we need to go up quite a bit. I still think it's really dark brown. I mean, that could be closer to 10,000 feet, actually. Hard to tell. This part, I think, could be closer to 10,000 feet. We'll wait a little bit to climb. We only have to go 5,000 or 6,000 feet, so it's not the end of the world. We'll wait a little bit. Wait till we get about 30 miles out, 40 miles out. Oh, we're really imbalanced. No wonder we're bouncing around. Let me switch fuel tanks. I was wondering why we were kind of bouncing around. We're really imbalanced. Thankfully, it's not a whole lot of fuel to really throw the plane off balance, but still. That knob took me a while to find, actually. When I first started flying this plane, I actually had to use the checklist to find it. I thought it would have been back, like in the back console area. I didn't really expect it to be down on the floor there. Sometimes they put them up top, you know, on each side, the fuel levers to switch between fuel tanks. Like there's one plane I fly sometimes on the bush trips. I think it's the Cub Crafter, I think it's a Cub Crafter, but it's got, like, if you look up to your left, it's got this tube, and like there's a little bit of fluid in the tube, and it tells you how much fuel you have based on that tube. And then there's also another one on the right side of the plane too, so you can see both right and left fuel tanks. That one has a knob in the center, the center area of the airplane, for you to switch between right and left. Yeah, I think that's about 10,000 feet. And this plane does not like going more than regular speed, that's for sure. All right, let's go start our climb. We'll do flight level control. And we'll go down to 100. That's our VY speed. Give us a pretty steep ascent at first, and then once we get to 100, it'll kind of balance itself out. Actually, let me open up our cow flaps. While we're climbing. Yeah, you see we have this G speed, that's for gliding. That's like our best gliding speed. And then VY is the best speed for climbing. I don't know what VX is, but I know VR is rotate. Not sure what X is. I'd have to look that one up. I don't see VX too often. Of those V speeds. I think there's, like, I looked up a list Well, and I have it stored as a bookmark too, the list, or a list. But yeah, there's a lot of, there's like 20 different B speeds. It's crazy. It's like a lot of, almost every letter in the alphabet. Oh yeah, there is a VOR station tonight at the airport, so it looks like we'll be able to do that glide path FAC type landing. Let's look at our map now, and let's go back to relative. You see this area is shrank down a lot, actually. We actually might be okay at 7,500 feet. Let's put it at 7,500 for now. I don't want to climb higher than we have to. I want to stay as low to the ground as possible. Like, all the red is gone, except for that little bit there, but that's not where our path is. So we should be okay. 7,500. Our barometric pressure back to standard as well. And those are our cowl flaps now. Cowl flaps are underneath the airplane here. Help ventilate the engine while you're climbing and taking off, because it builds up so much heat. That helps cycle the air through to keep your engine cooler. But we're done now, so we can close them back up. Now, since this is a turboprop, I don't believe we need to play with fuel mixture at all. I think if we needed to, it does have a lean assist. Maybe we do need to play with it. Let's see. Right now, it's not giving us a temperature reading, so it's okay. Yeah, so, with these systems, with leaning out the fuel, you have to play with the fuel mixture. Try to keep the peak here, try to keep that as close to like 0 as possible. We might need to, because we're not going as fast as we should. Let me lean out the fuel mixture a little bit. That should increase our speed a little bit. You can see our speed is starting to go up. See, I only thought that was on piston airplanes that you needed to play with the fuel mixture. It's not. Because at the speed that we're at for the throttle, we should be going a lot faster than where we're at now. Move this back a little bit more. I don't want to move it too much because, you know, I think this plane goes up to what, like 20,000 feet, I think, something like that. So at 7,500 feet, we shouldn't need to move this a whole lot. Just leave it there for a few minutes. So when you lean out the fuel mixture, you could move the fuel mixture lever, move it back, and then just give it like a couple of miles or a few minutes to see what happens. Sometimes the speed goes up and down because of the plane going up and down. Seems like it's kind of stable there. Let's pull it back a little bit more. sometimes in these airplanes, okay, so here we go. Now it's starting to give us a temperature reading. I believe it bases it off of first cylinder here. I don't know a whole lot about leaning out the fuel mixture. I just know that it needs to be done. It's hard finding reading material on this subject. To be honest, it's kind of difficult. I've tried over the years to find a good source for like what the peak temperature should be, you know, what altitude you should start leaning. It seems like most planes at somewhere around 3,000 feet, you should start leaning out your fuel mixture. See here, we're starting to slow down a little bit, so I think we need to make it go rich a little bit. Move it up a little bit and let's see what happens. Or we might need to lean it out more. Yeah, let's lean it out a little bit more. You can see our thrusters up to 95%. So, you know, I'm trying to get us closer to 160, I guess. Fluctuates. Looks like we're heading in the right direction. Let's pull it back a little bit more again. Once we finish this leg, the rest of the legs are not that long. Like once we cross our next waypoint, then then we have 76 miles. But after that, we have 18 miles, then 28 miles, and then it's our approach. So we have one more longish leg, and then after that, it's over the water and just turning towards the airport and starting our approach. I didn't do a standard terminal arrival night. I didn't like any of them, to be honest. It didn't take me over the parts of the island that I wanted to go over. So I figured I would just make my own route and then just do an approach, and that would be that. Just leaning out a little bit more. Yeah, there's a few articles that are pretty good for leaning out your fuel mixture, but just didn't have the info I was looking for. I really don't know. I think this is supposed to stay close to zero, this peak temperature, but I don't know for sure. I know it's better to have it as a positive number than a negative number, that much I know, but other than that, I just lean out the mixture to a point where we either are not increasing anymore and we're not decreasing in speed. Like you pull this lever back so much that you start choking the engine of fuel, and at that point you start slowing down. So I try to find that balance between that point and having a good speed. Looks like we're slowing down a little bit now, so let me push this up a little bit forward again. I think that's about as good as we can get it. That's a pretty good speed, considering like 167 or so is where the yellow starts. That's not bad. Even though the plane, as advertised, is advertised as a plane where you can go 320 some knots, I am certainly not seeing that speed tonight. That might be the maximum speed that it can go, I guess, maybe before, there's too much stress on the plane, but all right, let's 1x. These mountains start descending. The VOR station now. Let's do that. So that's 116.7. Let's come over here. Let's do 116.7. And let's push this button here with the arrows and flip them. That is the VOR station that we're going to. If you want to switch between nav1 and nav2 on any of these Garmin systems, just highlight this little button and just push it in, and that'll switch you between 1 and 2. And then after we cross this waypoint and we're heading to this waypoint here, Guck Road, while we're heading there, we'll put ourselves in heading mode and plug in the correct course for the landing, because we need to do it in VOR, not in this GPS mode. We can also see on here, like if you don't have access to relative altitude map that we were, that is green, red, and orange, or green, red, and yellow, you can also use this type of display here. You can see our horizon line is just over top of all the mountains. So you can use that as a gauge as well to know if you are too high or too low or just right, when it comes to whatever altitude you want to be at versus what's in front of you. Working on my setup a little bit to get it where my mouth moves with the actual words that I'm saying. I need to get a webcam for that, so I'm saving up for one, because I plugged it into the Xbox, and then with the headphones, everything will be synced up at that point. Right now, the way it's working is I'm streaming with the headset from the Xbox to Twitch, and then I'm screen capturing Twitch on my laptop, OBS, YouTube. So the camera is getting the data after I speak it. So that's why I'm off. I guess I can play with the latency of the camera and try to figure out. Maybe I guess I could play with that. That'll take a little bit of work, but I could do that. Maybe I can kind of find that 5 or 10 seconds somewhere in OBS Assistant to pick up the time difference between the camera picking me up versus the audio from my voice. If I can't get it to work, I'll just get a webcam that works with Xbox. They're not too expensive. I also don't have a job right now, and I'm not making any money on YouTube, so shit. Let's slow down. Oops. I don't usually like making turns when it's in that sped up mode. I was sitting here running my mouth. I kind of forgot what we were doing. If I was making money doing this, I'd have no problem spending money to, for better equipment, but we're still very far away from, that being any kind of reality. It'd be nice one day if I could do this and make a little extra money. I don't need to do it as a full-time job, but it would be nice making a few extra dollars here and there. Never turn down money, not unless it's, not unless I have to turn it down. All right, let's put ourselves in heading mode. So let's sync our heading. Let's click the heading button. Let's come down here to CDI and go enter. And now we're in VOR mode, so our course, our final course for tonight, the most delicious course. It's 48 degrees, so let's program in 48 degrees. And now we're all set. So now when we switch over to this mode for landing, our course is already programmed in, and so is our frequency, so it should be pretty simple to capture tonight. So let's go back into nav mode. And the last thing I want to do is go to PFD options, and I'm actually going to set bearing 1 for nav 1, DME also, and bearing 2 I'm going to have as the FMS, our GPS. And now this is set up how I like it, for landings and things like that. We have our distance measuring equipment giving us our distance. It's also now we have the course down here too. Our the radial that we're flying against right now from MTL. Right now we're flying on the 368 radial, and then this side has our current course. So this this identifier here is for nav 1. You can see it's pointing to 168, 67. This number is going to continue to go down towards 0 as we keep on flying the stations, like down here, and as we're flying over it, we're going on different radials. So this number is going to keep on decreasing. All right, we're almost over the highest parts of the mountain. Like any secret tunnels under these mountains. That would be really dope. If there's like a tree somewhere here that's got like a set of stairs that go under it, and it's like this whole like huge domain underneath this mountain. So cool. Like this mountain's kind of hollowed out, and there's like a whole like I don't know what would be under it. That would be really cool. All these homes and shit up here. Yes, I don't know if it's businesses or homes or what. Probably homes. It should be okay. Yeah, having that relative altitude map comes in very handy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. How do we turn that black like that? bird-killing fucking wind turbines. And these things take up so much fossil fuel to make, like, you're almost better off not even making them. It takes so much electricity, oil, coal, all kinds of fossil fuels to make these fucking things. And they don't generate that much power. I always like the way Trump talked about these things. He's like, sorry, darling, we can't watch TV tonight. There's no wind. Sorry, honey, I couldn't make dinner tonight. Our stove didn't work because there's no wind today. They're so ugly. I was never really against wind turbines until a few years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago. Texas went through a really cold bout of weather, and like their power grid went down, and the only thing they had to rely on were wind turbines. And they have a ton of wind turbines down in Texas. And the part of Texas that I was getting the reports from, somebody who actually lives down there, you know, a relative of mine. No matter how many wind turbines it had down there, it didn't generate any power for the city. Like, just a fraction of the city had power. It couldn't produce enough power. And they have, like, you know, hundreds of wind turbines down there. Stupid. We have a lot of clean coal power plants in America. We actually regulate them a lot compared to other parts of the world, but I don't want to get on that bandwagon. We're here for flying airplanes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Right back. Give me about 45 seconds. Hopefully they don't crash. Yeah, we're okay. All right, I'll be right back. What did I miss? We're still in the air. That's a good thing. What turns that black? Is that oil? Or was there a fire there? Was that just a certain type of soil? Alright, we should be able to start descending here pretty soon. Yeah, once we get past this little bit of yellow, we can start descending. Now our starting altitude for this descent tonight, we need to be at 2,500 feet, 10 miles out. Mandatory 1,800 feet, 5 miles out of the airport. No RNP number, so. All right, so let's plug in our altitude. Let's go down to, say, like 3,000 feet for now. We have plenty of time to get there, so I'm just going to do BS, and I'm just going to do minus 500. We'll keep an eye on our altitude versus what's coming in front of us here. I'm going to leave the fuel mixture alone right now. That'll help keep us at a decent speed. If I push it all the way in right now, it could boost our speed quite a bit. So I'm just going to leave it kind of where it is. Yeah, we're going to take this another 40 miles. That'll put us pretty much out over the ocean. And then we're going to start turning. No, I'm sorry. The next waypoint is about 10 miles away from the ocean. The one after that. The waypoint after our next waypoint is going to put us over the ocean. Then we make a left-hand turn, and that's pretty much heading right towards the airport, towards our approach tonight. All right, we got a nice little descent going. I had Taco Bell for dinner tonight. I haven't had Taco Bell in a couple of months. The last couple of times we went there, I didn't get anything. I got my kids something, but I didn't get anything for myself so we could save money. And I got this grilled cheese burrito tonight. I only got the one thing, the grilled cheese burrito with black beans. Boy, that thing was a serious ass burrito. Jesus. That thing was fucking huge. Tasty, that's for sure. That was a tasty ass burrito. I'm no stranger to food, that's for sure. That was a tasty ass burrito. All right, let's increase our descent now that we're over that part of the mountain. Let's go down like 1,000 feet. It's a fun little flight, actually. I'm glad I did this. I'm glad we did. You know, I like flying the jumbo jetliners and, you know, the A310s and the 737s and shit like that. But sometimes it's nice to fly planes like this. Go a little slower, you see cool parts of the world that you normally don't get to see. Different interaction with equipment that you don't normally fly with. Right. We're okay with that mountain range coming up, but we do need to keep an eye on it. It's starting to tell us that we're within a couple thousand feet of it, of the bottom of it, so see it's starting to turn green a little bit. That means we're less than 2,000 feet from that part of the mountain. An eye on it. If it starts turning yellow, then it's actually increased. Go up a little bit, because I have a feeling that's going to turn yellow by the time we get there if we keep that pace up. Let me actually move our mixture up a bit since we're it's yellow right by where we're flying, so yeah, let's just keep it here for now. I guess I should click altitude, that would probably help. Let's just keep it here right now, and then once we fly over this mountain range, then it should be good to descend after that down to about 2,500 feet. That's definitely yellow. So that means we're between 100 and 1,000 feet from this part of the mountain that we're getting ready to fly over. The little houses down there. That's cool. It's like a road from like SnowRunner. That was a fun game. I had hundreds of hours into that game. SnowRunner. On the PS4 though, wow, that was really close, Jesus. I think if we would have descended any further, we would have been in the red. Wow. It's cool. Alright, let's keep our plane here until we get past that next green section. I don't know how many. My son could look it up because on the PS5 he can check how many hours I have on that game. I think I can check it on the PS4 also. But yeah, I got hundreds of hours in SnowRunner. That game, man, that game is a lot of fun. Probably is a lot more fun on the next generation console. I didn't feel like spending the money again. Because I already bought it on the PS4 with all the season passes and all the DLCs and shit like that, so I didn't want to sink all that money into it again. Just to do everything over again. I do have it on the Game Pass from Xbox, so I mean I can play it on there, but I sank so many hours into that game I really didn't feel like playing it anymore. That's part of the reason I start playing it again too, is just I played it so much I just don't feel like playing it anymore right now. They have a new SnowRunner coming out, I think, this year or next year. I saw an article on it a few months ago. There's a new Subnautica coming out, which should be amazing. I love Subnautica. Hopefully it's better than Below Zero. That game was, in my opinion, not as good as the first one, that's for sure. And there's a new game coming out. I think it's this year. It's like Subnautica, but it's like over the clouds. I don't know what it's called, but like you live in this world where you have to live above the clouds, and anytime you go below the clouds, like it's like unbreathable air and monsters and all that kind. So it's almost like Subnautica, where when you go below water you can't breathe either, and everything's trying to kill you down there. It's like the same thing with this game too, where when you go below the clouds, everything tries to kill you. You can't breathe. What it's called, but the game looked amazing. Hopefully when it comes out, hopefully it'll be a fun game. We can start descending again here pretty soon. Let me change the filter on this thing while we're hanging out here. You get my little bag of goodies and my rusting pieces. It's supposed to be like a Reese's Pieces flavor, but it only tastes like that, like every once in a while. Get one of my filters out. I go through a filter like every 2 weeks or so. I usually change the filter like every 2 bottles that I use. Looks like we can probably start descending now. We're probably over that one green part. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go down to 2,500 feet. And let's do VS again, and let's go down. Good, and I am going to move the fuel mixture back up now. We are going to be at an altitude where we need full rich. So we got 11 miles to our next waypoint. Then after that, we have 18 miles to that waypoint, and then after that, we have 28 miles to pretty much 28 miles pretty much to our approach. It looks like our last waypoint's maybe 3 or 4 miles before the approach, but we're going to be very close to it. There's some rubbing alcohol in there. What did I do with it? I just saw it. Here it is. Rubbing alcohol to clean the carbon off of the ice. Very good. We're at 2,500 feet. You're looking good. Let's increase our speed again. There's some carbon. Excited for tomorrow night's dinner, making roast. Put that bitch in the slow cooker first thing in the morning with a couple cups of water, salt and pepper. Put in some baby carrots, a whole bunch of potatoes that I'm soaking in water overnight. So I cut the potato. I used to cook a lot, but I cut the potatoes up in like little quarter pieces, and I put them in a big bowl with water after I clean off the potatoes, and then I let them soak in that water overnight. And having them soak in that water pulls a lot of the starch out of the potatoes. Rinse it off in the morning, rinse off the potatoes again, dump them in there, and put that thing on slow for about 8 hours. And I'm telling you, that is some delicious food, man. When that thing is done, I put a little bit of corn in there too, maybe. Yeah, when that thing is done, man, it's just the meat's falling apart. Everything is soft and tender. It's got this great kind of broth that gets cooked with it, man. That's good eating right there. And it's easy to make too. You just put it all in a slow cooker and let the slow cooker do its thing. It's like one of the easiest things you can make in the kitchen. Pancakes for dinner last night. That was a good dinner. I like having breakfast every once in a while for dinner. We had pancakes and bacon and turkey bacon. I like the turkey bacon myself because I'm not trying to gain any more weight. So turkey bacon for me, and then whoever wants it, and then usually my kids have regular bacon. And a little bit of carbon on this now. It's kind of why this thing's been misfiring lately. All right, now we're turning to MAMOG. We got about 18 miles. That's going to take us out over the water. You can see up here on the top left, you can kind of see that arrow right where east is. That's the arrow that's pointing to the MTL VOR station. Back in here. Yeah, when you're a single parent, you gotta learn how to cook, that's for sure. takeout and pizzas and shit like that every night, man. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not healthy. Kids get tired of it too. I get tired of it too as an adult. I get tired of eating all that shit. Oh, buddy. Better slow down, man. Plane's dancing a little too much. A little bit of a wiggle to it. Wiggle, wiggle. What is that over there? I don't know. It's like a certain type of. Maybe it's a glitch in the matrix. I don't know what that is. Probably what it is. I'm just gonna say it's a glitch in the matrix. Screw this bottom back on. And we're back up again. Wait about 15 minutes. Cotton can absorb everything. Another airport over there? I know. Koga. Alright. Screw it back on and fill it up. Just let it wait. Let it give it about 10-15 minutes before you use it. That way all the juice gets absorbed into the cotton. Even if you prime the atomizer first by kind of soaking it a little bit before you put it in, it's still a good idea to wait a little bit to make sure it's fully absorbed into the cotton. Otherwise it'll taste like burnt paper. Alright, we'll set you aside and let you marinate. It's marinating. Take my last little dose of medicine tonight. I'm gonna leave this thing in flight management mode. Pretty much. I don't think I'm gonna. Well, you know what? This plane might actually switch us automatically. These planes have been doing that lately. Some of these planes, where, like when we had this kind of landing tonight, where we have a VOR program. A lot of times these planes will switch from GPS over to the VOR automatically. I think what plane I was flying recently that did that. I don't remember. Might have been was it the ATR? C-12? It was definitely one of the Cessnas. Either the CJ4 or the Longitude. It was one of the ones with the engines on the back. I remember that. But after this turn, coming up here in a few miles, we have 28 miles to the last waypoint I programmed in. That is literally like a mile or two before the beginning of our approach, before the initial air fix. Supposed to be at 2,500 feet for that, so we're at a good altitude right now. Everything is looking good. Turn. How are we doing on fuel, by the way? go back here. Do I need to put any... Ooh. Okay, let me put a little bit of fuel in the plane. I should have put more fuel in it before we took off. That's good. Probably had enough fuel to land, but just wanted to make sure. TANUG. Very good. I'm glad I switched planes in the beginning. I really wanted to fly that Pipistrel. I thought it's a cool looking plane. And I really like how you can sit in the cockpit and look out the window, and it's just a huge window. Like, there's no door frame; it's just all window. I thought that would have been really cool to fly and just kind of like look right here and just it's all window. But when I got up in the air and I saw that thing like maxed out at 110 knots, like on this display, like not airspeed knots, like max knots you could push the throttle. I'm like, oh no, this will take forever tonight. I mean, it's already a long trip. You know, it's already been over 2 hours. I'm streaming. You know, this plane is pretty quick for a single engine plane. I couldn't imagine that. You know, this is going almost double the speed. It would have taken 4 hours tonight. That's crazy. I'll find a little flight for that plane one day. It's a pretty cool little plane. So for this approach, we're about 10 miles out from the airport. We need to be at 2,500 feet, then we have 5 miles to descend to 1,800 feet. And that'll put us 5 miles out of the airport, and from there we need to descend down to the runway. It's a max of 190 knots, which is no problem. No problem for us at least. RNP1 required GNSS. Required minimum temperature for Barrow VNAV approaches is 15 Celsius. The temperature which the effective VPA will exceed 3.5 degrees is 45 degrees Celsius. Circling is not authorized. Well, we're well below 15, aren't we? I don't think we're over 15. There's our outside air temperature. I saw our temperature out here somewhere. Oh, we're at 10 degrees. It's probably our airport, this little dot. Oh, never mind, there's another dot that showed up. Corrected. It's probably one of those 2 dots. Man, look at this plane moving. Wow. This is with live weather turned off. I wonder if it would be any different with live weather turned on. Let's see. That's pretty cool, actually. Maybe I'll leave live weather turned on. That actually looks pretty cool as a background. Let's see what the METAR is, 2994. It's pretty cool looking. time it is here right now. Well, I'm not going to mess with the time. We'll leave it like this. We have NextRad. I don't know if it shows up. No, not there, Greg. Option. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Boy, there's a little bit of a storm over top of the airport today. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool how you have live weather built into this airplane. I don't know if any extra. Oh, I thought that was a rainbow for a second. It's just the ground. We'll leave live weather on as long as it's not glitching out like it was the other day. It looks like it's okay. I do like how some of these airplanes have, you know, live weather built into it. I think that's a pretty cool feature. Adds another layer of like immersiveness and realism to everything, I think. Typically, you wouldn't want to do a VNAV landing if it's the weather is bad. But according to the airport right now, you can still do a visual landing. But even if you couldn't, the next step below visual landing is called IVFR, and that's for Instrument Visual Flight Rules. That's pretty much how we're going to be landing today. Is we're going to try to use approach mode to get that glide path and the final approach course. Filter, and it's good to act like you're using it, but not to push any buttons. Just kind of get the filter used to you know, the air going through it. Sometimes that helps get the filter absorbed a bit more. No, man down. Buildings, high-rise apartments / hotels, maybe condominiums, business buildings. Who knows? Who knows what they got over there? Now, it looks like it's raining on the ground there. If that's the case, that's a pretty cool effect. Like, it looks like there's raindrops hitting. It might just be the reflection on the water. Definitely no raindrops hitting our chariots. All right, so when we get to San Sugnu, that gives us 6 miles. That's the initial air fix, then the initial fix is 6 miles after that. I think what we could do is we could actually go into, yeah, well, you know what? Let me wait. I was going to click approach and see what happened, but actually, yeah, let's click approach and see what happens. Yeah, nothing just yet. Okay. make this turn, I'm going to go ahead and plug in, what's our course? 48 is our final course tonight. Let's go into heading mode. And let's change our CDI over. And let's click approach now. Anything? Nope. We can click nav though. We can click nav, that'll get us lined up, and let's see if the glide path does pick anything up as we get a little closer. It would still be kind of far away for a glide scope to capture anyways. Usually the glide scope indicator doesn't show up until you're maybe 15 miles away, maybe 10 miles. Now this doesn't, the glide path may not work because there's no ILS functionality at this airport. And I know there are two different frequencies, but so we'll see if it works. If it works, it works. If not, we'll certainly do the best we can to land the airplane ourselves. Wrong button. Wow. It's like we're landing inside the eye of a hurricane. All right, let's put on some landing lights. Slow down just a little bit. I want to say our landing speed's, I think, around 85 knots, if I remember correct. Still 20, still barometric pressure is still the same. Little landing light right there in front of the airplane there. It's like a very wicked rainstorm sitting over top of that airport right now. Kind of tempted to go back to regular weather so we could look at everything, but we turned the weather off the whole time. I think it'd be kind of cool to land in a storm like this. It's our airport right there. Atala Rajapaksa International. Glide path yet. All right, well, at least let me move this down to 1,800 feet. And then we'll descend when we need to. When we get to RI 51, that's where we need to descend down to 1,800 feet. That's coming. Oh, that's getting ready to come up. Shit. good until about 5 miles from the airport at this point with our altitude. Once we get to about 5 miles out of the airport, then we need to start descending. Maybe there is no glide path at this airport here. I would have thought there would have been. Let's slow down, put our gear down. Oh, you can see the rain hitting now. VNav on. Fuck. I clicked on VNav to see if that would have helped maybe with the glide path. Because it's LNAV, VNav. Well, you know what? I guess I could put us in VNav. We need to go down to about 500 feet. The landing does say LNAV, VNav. Let's see what VNav does. It's going to be a rocky landing. I can already tell, man. It's windy. Planes bouncing around. Can't see anything. We got about 6.7 miles. That surprises me a lot that there's no glide path. I would have put a bunch of money on that tonight, saying, you know, if there's a VOR station, there's probably going to be a glide path available for us. Start descending actually. Typically I would fly this in myself from here, but with the wind speed the way it is right now and all that, this airplane kind of descend on its own here and let it follow, let it follow the localizer as long as it can. Click off the. I'm trying to click the button to. Oh, I guess I don't need to click that. Okay. I thought I needed to click the red button to disconnect the autopilot. A lot of airplanes, you need to click that red button on the yoke, but I guess on this airplane you don't need to. Not on the simulator, at least. All right, let's try to aim as far down the runway as we can with the nose so we can make a nice soft buttery. Touchdown. A little off course, but it was a good landing nonetheless. This plane really wants to go to the right. Jesus Christ. I got the yoke all the way turned. And it won't turn. That is crazy. Look at that. And it won't turn. I have to use the rudder. No, we're here. We landed safely. In the rain. I'm not really sure where to go. But I do need to turn this off because it's getting late. And I got to get up in the morning. Where do you go from here? I guess over there. See the screen flickering like it does in a real airplane. Anyway, so that's about it, my friends. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys were able to do that flight with me. Whoever was able to join, that was great. We'll be back for more airplane fun on Monday. I will have hopefully that Aerofly video up tomorrow as well. I'm going to work as much as I can on it tomorrow when I have the time. Until then, my friends, I will see y'all very soon over the beautiful skies of Mother Earth in an airplane in one of the simulators. I don't know which one, but I'll see y'all tomorrow. Please subscribe. Please click the like button.